To the TCAS. Well, WINCTRL calls it the TCAS, I'd call it the transponder panel because there's 13 transponder switches and 2 TCAS switches on the panel, but it is definitely a combined version. So in today's video we're going to go over what you are going to get, what's included, whether it's worth it for the money, and how accurate it is compared to the real aircraft. But let's start at the very beginning. You're getting a very simple box, certainly not a collector's edition, with a WINCTRL logo and a couple of general pieces of information about what's in there on it, but really nothing spectacular. Something that I really like, however, is the fact that you got those QR codes for, amongst others, the product manuals, return policies, and others. The product itself is very well protected and arrived without any signs of damage or anything. Overall, in a perfect condition. Together with the panel itself, you're also getting a couple of screws, a screwdriver, adhesive pads, and the USB cable, which are all used to mount the panel to your personal flight simulator setup. Now, I would personally have liked a couple more adhesive pads to be included, since you will need at least like 3 or 4 of them if you want to mount the panel to your desk and actually want it to stand firm on your desk. And since you might occasionally be moving it around, especially if you're expanding your panel later on as further WINCTRL products are released, you may need to attach and detach the panel a couple of times. So some more adhesive pads might be nice, but for the moment there's certainly more than enough for what you need right now. Just like the other WINCTRL products, the transponder/TCAS panel is also controlled through SimApp Pro. This will automatically link the product to different aircraft, like the Phoenix Airbus A320 for example, but it will also provide you with an indication which button equals to which input on the panel, which can be interesting for manually assigning the controls in the simulator, provided that no automatic linking to your favorite add-on is provided. Now, I primarily tested the panel with the Phoenix A320 and this is fully synchronized. However, if you may want to assign it to different aircraft later on, then this might get relevant. You can also use SimApp Pro to test the different functions of your panel. For example, by switching the lights on, I can turn the marker light, the ATC fail light, on at the top over there, and I can even control its brightness through the marker light brightness setting here. Personally, I do really like it right at the bottom, by the way, because that thing can get pretty bright. Note that you can also turn on different patterns on the transponder panel and so on in order to test the full functionality of your panel. Connecting and installing your new device is really easy. You just plug the USB cable in, install SimApp Pro, and then on your first run check for a possible firmware update, which would be indicated by that little green circle on the top right of your product. Now, once that is done, you can simply load your flight simulator, and SimApp Pro is automatically going to connect your new WINCTRL unit to your favorite aircraft. I have primarily tried this with the Phoenix Airbus A320 for the time being, but more add-ons are going to be supported in the future as well. Now let's have a look at the panel itself. It features 1-to-1 the correct dimensions of the real-world panel, as can be seen in any Airbus from the A318 all the way through the 319, 20, 21, 330 and A340. On the side of the panel there are holes pre-drilled so that you can attach it to any mock-up of your home cockpit that you may be building. You can also use the little blue cosmetic covers, which make it look a little bit more realistic. If you do not want to mount the panel as part of any home cockpit setup, then you can easily just put it onto your table thanks to its design both on the sides as well as on the back. The back of the panel is designed so that it stands nicely with a little bit of an angle on your desk, and it provides sufficient space for you to attach the adhesive pads that WINCTRL have included so that it gets a nice and firm grip on your table and doesn't immediately slide away when you are operating the buttons. The USB cable can be attached to either side, and there are holders provided to guide the cable out either way so that you can mount the panel on any side or any way that you want in your personal setup without the cable getting into your way. Now let's go ahead and have a look into the practical operation of the panel. Now, a little caveat here, I have not attached the panel to my desk using any adhesive pads yet, so I'll have to hold it with my hand while operating it. The reason is just, as mentioned in the beginning, there aren't too many adhesive pads included, and I don't want to waste any just for the purpose of filming. But let's go ahead and have a look. We have loaded the Phoenix A320 and SimApp Pro is automatically connecting the TCAS panel to the simulator. Now, when we operate a button, we will see pretty much a direct response up there in the simulator. That goes for all the buttons, and that also includes the transponder numbers down here as well, so you can simply enter everything. Note that you mustn't type like too quickly. As you can see, when I'm really going fast, then it may not get all the numbers. Funnily enough, that is not a bug, but actually a feature, because I've noticed the same thing on the real-world Airbus A330 as well. If you type too quickly, it may simply skip some inputs. So always do it nice and slow like this. So 5, 3, blah, blah. Did I say 3 while entering a 6? Okay, doesn't matter. You guys know where I'm going with that. The same also applies to operating things like the transponder mode selectors and that kind of stuff, or even the ident button. The panel's backlighting can also be controlled. Now, I do find that a little easier to show just directly through SimApp Pro. And as you can nicely see over here, we can control the backlight, and we can also control the brightness of the screen itself through here, which can all be integrated with your favorite add-on aircraft. And those are the functions of the brand new WINCTRL transponder / TCAS panel. Now, let's ask the important question. What exactly does it cost? So in the United States, it costs approximately 85 US dollars, taxes included, and in Europe it comes at approximately 74 euros and 40 cents. Again, taxes included, but conditional free shipping. Now, other rates are available for other regions in the world and visible on screen over here. And that concludes our look at the WINCTRL transponder / TCAS panel. Thank you very much to you guys for watching, and likewise thank you very much to WINCTRL for offering me a review unit of their transponder and TCAS. That is really very much appreciated. Thank you very much, WINCTRL, and thank you very much to you guys for watching. Now, as always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if this is another one panel that you are going to get, and let me know how your personal WINCTRL home cockpit is slowly coming along. Thank you very much. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and then I'm really looking forward to see you all again on the next one.